We're going to be joined just briefly now by the Cliburn's Director of Artistic Planning, and that's Sandra Doan. Come join us for a while. How's it all going? How are you holding up?
Good.
Good. Now, tell us, you know, Director of Artistic Planning is kind of a fancy title. Of course, you're kind of a fancy person. What do you do all day? When it's not a competition, what do you do?
Okay, when it's not a competition, I'm basically responsible for the programs and the operations of our programs. So, Cliburn Concerts.
Which is a big, that's, you know, you can say it as Cliburn Concerts, but that's a lot of concerts right there.
Right, so we do formal concerts, and we do community concerts, and then we do concerts in a bar. And because who doesn't like drinking when they're watching music?
But that was a great idea. You call it Cliburn Sessions. It has
Yeah.
its own graphic and everything, and it's been very, very successful.
Yes,
We started with Anderson and Rowe, and it was a great way to start.
Yes, we started with Anderson and Rowe. We put Time for Three in there to kind of set the mood for people who can have fun and blend genres and talk to their audience so that people feel really comfortable and aren't scared to go to a classical music concert.
Right.
And so that's been really fun, and we were experimenting with that for a little bit, and it's been catching on. That's good.
So, who are you having for Cliburn Sessions next year? I can't really remember, except for Conrad Tao.
Okay, we have Conrad Tao coming, and he's doing like a straight classical piano recital, but a little bit edgier.
Conrad Tao, of course, is a 22-year-old classical pianist and composer that we had here for the first time as a substitute. I can't remember
For Louis
whom.
Lortie, I think.
For Louis Lortie, and he was 17.
And he
at the
was
time.
fantastic then.
And he came and played just a straight piano recital
Yeah.
in a suit and tie and everything. He doesn't really do suits and ties anymore or any of
Nope,
that.
I think this is the perfect place for us to hear him again and to invite him back to Fort Worth.
Do you think he'll play some of his own music?
I asked him if he would play some of his own music, and we're not completely sure yet.
Good. And who else for Cliburn Sessions
So,
this year?
and then we also have an a cappella group, Virtuous 8, and they're going to be doing some straight choral work, and then they'll also be doing some pop and jazz and that kind of stuff, and they'll be moving back and forth between genres, and I think that'll be fun
Awesome.
for everybody. And then we have Super Right 5 coming. They're a string quintet, and they are still working out their program, but what we're looking at right now is like a mixtape, so that they'll, again, move kind of seamlessly between Mozart and Piazzolla and Radiohead and
Fantastic.
cool things.
Fantastic. Now tell us a little bit about Cliburn at the Kimball next year, because that's going to be pretty awesome, actually.
Yes, the Cliburn at the Kimball next year, we are having all Cliburn concert debut artists. And so that's fun for us. Sean Chen, our third prize winner in 2013, he's doing really well, and he's going to come back and do a program. He is going to maybe do one of his own transcriptions. So that's
fantastic.
kind of
He
fun
has some good
that he'll
ones.
do. And then we have Bejad Abdurrahimov, one of Stanislav Yudenish's students.
Right. I referenced him just a couple of nights ago. How old is he now? 21, maybe? Barely 21.
Yeah.
Right. But Stanislav, of course, is one of our gold medalists in 2001. He won a gold medal when Olga also won, and he's very, very proud of Bezad. So it's a real coup to get him. He's playing some really big concerts now. So.
And then last we have Avi Avital playing with Kenneth Weiss, and this is the first time we've had maybe a mandolin player ever. And then we haven't had harpsichord for a while, and so I'm looking forward to that program. That'll be cool.
And the Kimball is the perfect place for that, don't you think?
Yes.
The Kimball is perfect.
Yes, because it's small and intimate, and the mandolin, it'll just be great.
Fantastic. And we also have a big event at Bass Hall,
Yes,
right?
we're going to have what we're calling a blockbuster event, and it's going to be Hillary Hahn. She hasn't been back to us in a little while, and so that'll be great to have her in the big hall. Everybody can come join us for a great big concert event.
Fantastic. Now, what do you do in competitions?
Right.
Because I can't really
we're in
follow you around.
competition
You and
right now.
Maggie, us just both are running around so much, sending so many emails, taking so many phone calls. It's kind of dizzying.
Yeah, so I'm responsible for all the production-related elements and the guest artists. So we take care of the competitors. Once they're notified that they're going to be coming here, then we start working all the logistics out for them, which includes securing their practice spaces and the pianos. And we were lucky this year.
Which is a big deal
It is
this
a big
year
deal.
because we had moved to a different space which is not connected to a university at all,
Right.
so no built-in practice rooms.
Right.
And
you
no
could-
host families either.
No.
So
Well, this one is a little bit different from our other competitions because the amateur competitors come and they're largely responsible for themselves. They book
Right.
their own flights, they find their own hotels and that kind of thing, which is nice for us because there are so many of them. But we still try to give them all of the most perfect conditions so that they can focus on their performances. So for us, it was important for us to get a really nice practice space that was very close to the venue. We were very lucky that Sundance Square was able to offer us
Came
the
through
suite
with
of offices.
all these rooms, right.
And they've really been enjoying that space. And Steinway, of course, has been very generous in giving us all the practice pianos. And so we do that. And then we plan the performances and the stage. And it's a lot of work and a lot of labor goes behind setting up the stage, doing the lighting, getting the sound done, getting the competitor hall set up so that they have some place to check in and all that kind of thing. And then so we're responsible for them that way. All of the festival and symposia events, the symposia started today. All of that we have to figure out what we want to do and put it in the calendar and try to schedule in things that would be interesting to the competitors.
Right. Again, you're making it sound very easy, but it's not really, because
No.
you have to figure out these ancillary events which will be of interest, will be to the interest of a wide range of people, but it's not just a master class or something like that. That's not what you want. You want these health-related events and stuff like that.
Yeah, so today we had 2 doctors from the UNT Center come in, and they were talking a lot about injury prevention and actually stretching and that kind of thing. So very, very practical things. And it's kind of funny when you just say they were teaching how to stretch. But, pianists get a lot of back problems or hand injuries because especially if you're not accustomed to practicing long hours.
And also, if you're not 17 anymore.
Right, that's right.
When you're
That's true,
17, when you're 21, you're still pretty bulletproof. When you're 30, you're not. So you're already not so bulletproof. So that's when that all becomes important. What are we having tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're having...
Tomorrow's a big day.
It's a big day. We're starting the morning with yoga for musicians. And I think that you had Kristen Queen on earlier this week.
Right.
But she is going to do yoga specific for pianist-related injuries. So stretching out your shoulders and your back and your neck and that kind of thing, and she'll teach you how to do day-to-day things. We also planned a couple of tours for the competitors at the Modern Art Museum and the Kimmel Art Museum. And then in the evening, we have open piano night, which I'm really excited about.
What's that going to be? We haven't done something like that before, really.
So it's going to be at the Live Oak. It's the same venue as Cliburn Sessions, which is so kind of gives you the idea of a cash bar, food service. We'll have cocktail tables out and people can just eat and enjoy each other and have fun. But it's also an opportunity for the competitors to come and take some of their pieces that they may have played this week or maybe not and just play for each other and hang out. And, if they want to do forehand, they can. I think one of our competitors already mentioned that he has a violinist friend in Fort Worth and they're going to play a little bit. And so it's just an opportunity for them to hang out, to play music for each other. I think the jurors are planning on stopping by, and we have the public, everybody should come and stop by because we'll just hang out. And it'll start at 5, and our cutoff time is 10:30 right now, but if everybody's having a good time,
5.5 hours, that's good.
We'll just kind of keep going.
Speaking of jurors, how does all that calculus get made? Selecting a jury for this is not the easiest thing in the world. There are many considerations in selecting a jury for any kind of competition. There's lots to take into account, not just 7 of your friends that you think would pick the right one.
Right.
So how does that all happen?
Yeah. So. This is a complicated question.
Good.
Okay, so
I'm glad I asked it. We have time.
Okay, well, there are a lot of. Okay, so you start from kind of the end, like the end result.
Right.
So for the amateur competition, then of course we're looking for, the very highest artistic achievement as we do in all of our programs.
Right.
But you also want to create a very supportive, encouraging kind of environment, and so you look for personalities who can support this kind of mission that we're doing with the amateur competition.
Of course.
And so, and that's kind of where it starts. And so you talk to people and people that people that you find out of, like, Jacques and you and I have had discussions where we talk about people who we might be able to bring in because they have the right kind of personality. And so it's a matter of...
And also talking to Olga, who is going to be the chair. She might know people that we don't know.
And Olga had several suggestions, and several of them are here today. And so it all works together to create a jury that blends. Like, they've been getting along really well. Some of them knew each other, and some of them just met each other on Saturday, and they've been working together really well.
It does seem to be a lively group. They do seem to get along pretty well, which is great.
Which is great.
And you can't always ensure that when you put 7 or 11 people together that's going to happen.
And they're spending like 12 hours a day together, and so it's really nice.
The acid test, right?
That's
Listening to music and having to concentrate on a high level.
Yeah. And then all of our jurors are asked to listen to music within open mind, so that if it's something that they would never suggest themselves or teach or normally do, if they can be convinced by a different perspective, then that's also very important to us, because all of the competitors have their own personalities and their own spirit that they inject into the music.
Right.
And so it's important for us to have jurors who are open to being convinced and not just saying everything should be played exactly this way.
Right, especially in this environment. Actually, in
In
all of them,
environments,
in all
in
of
all
them,
of the competitions,
that's very important for
important.
us. You've had your own very circuitous path to to artistic planning, because you began life as a pianist and you still are one. So
More or less.
yeah, a very good one. So how old were you when you started? I've asked this question of everybody.
Yeah, I started.
I mean, I happen to know, but I want everybody else to know.
I started when I was 3. My story there is that my sister is 4.5 years older than I am, and she started the piano when she was 6, I think. And so I was young. I was like 2, but I used to get up onto the keys during her lessons and kind of mess around. And finally, my piano teacher, who was my piano teacher from the time I was 3 until I was 18, said, okay, well, clearly she really wants to play the piano, and she has finger independence or whatever it is. And so
Aptitude, something looks right.
And so she said I could start piano lessons after that. I was perfectly behaved, and that's how I started playing the piano. So.
And that you kept on for a while.
I kept on.
Yeah.
I went to TCU. I studied economics at the same time. But
Did you really? At
I
TCU?
did.
I never knew that.
I studied economics and political science, but
you were also a piano major.
I was also a piano major. In the music major in a university kind of sucks you in. I mean, because the
It's very
requirements,
demanding.
the requirements are so demanding, and your requirements on yourself, like practicing, is way different than studying. And so I got sucked into that, and then I went to the Liszt Academy in Budapest for 2 years, and it was kind of fun to
That's
do that.
awesome.
I was just playing the piano for 2 years in Europe.
You can't
Not
beat that,
bad.
right?
But that was also kind of the point in time I started getting some performance anxiety. A little bit before that, and I really felt like this is not the thing for me, and I'm definitely not a teacher by any means. So I really thought that I could be of most service to music on the management side. And I had done a couple of things, and it was kind of fun, and so it seemed like something interesting. So then I went to SMU's MA MBA program.
Got a lot of degrees.
And got
then.
I have a lot of degrees. And then when I came back, I had very, very good luck of having an opportunity open at the Cliburn. So
At the Cliburn, I remember when you came. I remember the point at which there was nobody above you in the artistic planning department, and I remember you saying in a staff meeting, "When am I going to get a new boss?" And 2 weeks later, you were your new boss. And it
I
just
don't remember
became
exactly that way. Yeah, that was great.
But we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have
I'm
you.
really happy. I'm really happy to be here.
This event has great flow, and it's so much due to your department. So
well, we've been really, really happy with how smoothly things have been running, and one of the many reasons, and this is one of the more minor reasons, that Jacques added the junior competition that we had last year, was for our staff to become very streamlined and very efficient. And we really, really felt that this year, everything from the very beginning has been working very smoothly. And I think it's because we have this kind of experience every single year, and there's not like any kinds of breaks where we have to get it all back together.
Right. Important point. And the other important point is, I think the staff that Jacques has assembled, both people that were here pre-Jacques and people that have come after, are just the right personality to work in this kind of environment, because even in a high-stress situation like this, any competition is a high-stress situation. We're here lots of hours, etc. Everybody gets along and works together pretty well.
Yes, it's been fun.
Yeah, it has been fun. Thanks
So,
for joining us,
Thank
Sandra.
you.
Send over the next victim in a
All
minute.
right.